Fascinating story. More details coming out on reports that Kim Jong-un's assassinated half-brother was a CIA informant. The Wall Street Journal also now reporting that Kim Jong-nam had been in touch with the security services of several other countries in the region. President Trump also told reporters today on the North Lawn that the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has, quote, kept his word when it comes to nuclear missile testing, and that he just received a letter from Kim Jong-un just yesterday. Joining me now is the Heritage Foundation Fellow and former CIA Deputy Division Chief for Korea, Bruce Klingner. Bruce, there is a lot to get in here here. The story of the assassinated half-brother that was killed at an airport by lethal injection in Malaysia in 2017. Sounds like a movie in its own right, but not surprising to you that the CIA and others had been in touch with him?
Well, the CIA would have been trying to get any kind of information on Kim Jong-un, his characteristics, his decision-making process, as well as anything about the regime. So particularly right after 2011, when the father, Kim Jong-il, died, there are articles that the CIA interviewed all the classmates of Kim Jong-un when he was a teenager in Switzerland. I'm sure we also interviewed Kim Jong-il's sushi chef, who was a playmate of Kim Jong-un.
Does the half-brother have any real actionable information, because he was on the outs and the family was on the outs and they were, you know?
That's a very good question. I mean, certainly in the beginning we would have loved the information, any kind of insights into Kim Jong-un or the other leaders in the senior leadership. But especially in later years, Kim Jong-nam had not been back to North Korea for several years. He didn't seem to have a political base back in Pyongyang. So it's really questionable as to how much information he would have had shortly before his death.
The president was asked today about this Wall Street Journal stories over the last 2 days, and he said the following. He said, quote, "I would tell him," meaning Kim Jong-un, "that would not happen under my auspices, that's for sure. I wouldn't let that happen under my auspices," meaning the CIA reaching out to Kim Jong-un's half-brother and being in connection with him. It was kind of like the president saying, oh, I want nothing to do with this. But isn't this what the CIA does?
Exactly. I find that quite concerning. When I was at CIA, we referred to North Korea as the hardest of the hard targets. Each of the intelligence sources really was constrained in getting information on a country that is a direct nuclear, missile, and conventional threat to the United States and our allies. So we're trying to get information. We should be trying to get information any way we can, and having a high-level intelligence source certainly is one way to do it.
Speaking of nuclear threats, here was President Trump earlier today. Watch.
I would, but I want to get it further advanced. In the meantime, no nuclear testing, no major missile testing, nothing like when I first got here. We have a very good relationship together. Now I can confirm it because of the letter I got yesterday. And I think, I think that something will happen that's going to be very positive.
Couple things there. Does the president have a point when he says no major nuclear tests, no nuclear tests, no major missile testing? Now, they've launched some short-range missiles recently.
Right.
It kind of took away some of his talking point. He's had to adjust it recently over the last month or so, but does he have a point?
Well, there have been several instances in the past under previous U.S. administrations where we had multiple years without testing, and North Korea has said it doesn't need to do any more testing because it's completed its nuclear weapon and its ICBM programs. Also, North Korea is required not only to not test, but to abandon its nuclear missile and VCW programs under 11 UN resolutions. So regardless of what Kim Jong-un has promised, he's required not to do any testing and to abandon those programs.
Bruce Klingner, fascinating subject. A lot of puzzle pieces. This latest one about the assassinated half-brother being an informant with the CIA and other nations adds to it.
All right.
We'll be talking about it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks very much.
Meantime,